Well, we're less than a week away from the new season of Doctor Who, and I think that there might be some little hints that we are actually going to get some kind of, albeit small, celebration of the 20th anniversary of the revival of Doctor Who back in 2005. Yes, despite Russell T Davies, I think last year, saying that there would be no celebration of that event, I think he's doing it potentially in some subtle ways. Ways that include Autons, a sequel to one of his original era's episodes, and maybe some other little background nods here and there as well. Let's talk about it. Hi, welcome to Culture Filter. I am the Film Filter, and this is where I talk about all the geeky pop culture that I like and consume. So, if you like Doctor Who especially, do click that subscribe button down below, because I talk about it an awful lot on this channel, along with other things like the MCU and Star Trek and various other geeky pop culture, but also a lot of Doctor Who. Now, what we're talking about today is the upcoming season. It is only days away at the time of recording, and I was thinking about what I thought about doing a whole predictions video, but frankly, I don't have the time. But I did have this thought based on a few things I've seen, based on a bit of speculation I've seen in various places around the internet, that they might actually be celebrating the 20th anniversary of Doctor Who, but not in a big kind of way that they celebrate the anniversary of the main show, not in a kind of big, hey, we're doing a special, multi-Doctor special type thing, but just in slightly more subtle ways, with a scene here or there, or a background reference here or there to things from the history of the show. And there are two things that have got me thinking this, that have been talked about widely based on some released information and some released images from the programme. So first of all, we have this shot that was released. It seems to be some kind of flashback to the early days of the Doctor and Ruby travelling together. I can only presume this comes somewhere in the Doctor Who Light episode that is focusing on Ruby at home. It's called Lucky Day, I think it is. So maybe we'll flash back to an unseen adventure that looks like, based on what they're wearing there, that it might come very soon. Maybe the very next adventure after Space Babies. But the thing that's got people talking is the setting they're in and what the Doctor is holding, because yeah, he's holding this little vial, and in the background you can kind of see some shop dummies. And what do we know about shop dummies? They are sometimes Autons that want to take over the world. Yes, living plastic. Now, that little vial, what could that be? Well, there was a reference that Russell T Davies made that there would be a Series 1 weapon from, 2005 Series 1 weapon returning to the series in some form. And what was the very first weapon that may have been used in Doctor Who in the revival series? The Doctor's anti-plastic that he used against the Nestine consciousness. So is this a vial of anti-plastic? Are we getting a reference back to Rose? Potentially. Do you think maybe we're even stepping back into the events of that episode somewhat? Maybe the Doctor and Ruby travelled back to 2005 and were there in another part of England, another part of the world, while that Auton attack took place, and while he's not going to use it on the Nestine consciousness, maybe he has a little vial of anti-plastic which he will use in a local capacity on the Autons that they face there and then. Now, this isn't going to be the focus of the episode, we know that. It's going to be with a little piece probably within Lucky Day itself, so a little flashback. It's probably going to be a couple of minutes at most, but it would be a nice little tie-in on the 20th anniversary year to that very first episode. I kind of hope it is stepping back into the events of that episode and we get to see what was going on elsewhere from another perspective in that episode. That I think is quite a nice way to reference that anniversary. And, filling in a little bit of a missing episode in that 6-month gap we've got between Space Babies and the Devil's Cord for them travelling together is a nice way to do it. So that's kind of Series 1 covered. But what about the rest of the series from Russell's first era? Are there going to be references to those as well? Well, one big theory that has come around is that the episode The Well is actually a sequel or prequel to the episode, I suppose sequel from the Doctor's perspective, but potentially prequel from the creature's perspective, potentially, to the episode Midnight, a fan favourite episode And it's all based on a line that came in a trailer, or a bit of released footage, where the Doctor talks about how he had been there before and it's the most scared he's been in his life. And the Doctor was certainly scared in that episode. The 10th Doctor, this is the episode where the Doctor is trapped on a kind of tour bus type thing with a group of other people, gets stranded out on this planet in the sort of outer reaches, not away from the touristy bit of the planet Midnight, and there is some kind of entity that takes over someone on the thing and starts mimicking people, starts repeating what they say, and gets to the point where they're saying it before the person has even said it, and does that to the Doctor, and that is when the Doctor gets really scared. Now, if this is a prequel, are we going to see the origin of that entity? If it's a sequel, are we going to see what happened next to that planet? Those are the possibilities. Now, a big reason, there was that line, but another big reason why people think that this is a sequel to Midnight is that in those little things where they announced the episode titles, on the background of the one that announced the well, there is a clock that ticks from 23:59 over to midnight. So that's either a big red herring or a clue that this is indeed a sequel to Midnight. So those are the two that we've got that I think are the most likely that we're going to get in terms of references to those early series of the revival. But there might be more. Obviously, there's the ongoing rumour that the Daleks are going to appear somewhere in this series. I've made my own theory videos about that if you want to check it out. But Russell D Davies has said that he won't be returning to any of the iconic monsters this series, and he wants to leave those for a little while longer. Is he being truthful there, or is it simply him lying to throw us off the scent? That is the question. Are we going to get some reference to Daleks here? Maybe we won't get a whole episode dedicated to them, but it could be another flashback. It could be another cameo of some kind where they are not the focus of the episode, and therefore he kind of was telling the truth, but they're in there somewhere. And in a similar vein, are we going to get lots of stuff in the background, little nods here and there to episodes from those early series? We know we're getting an episode where the Doctor and Belinda visit 2007. Belinda asks the little boy what year it is. He says it's 2007. Are we going to get, in the background of shots somewhere, a Vote Saxon poster? Because that is roughly when that was taking place. Are we going to get, you know, maybe on Wish World you can see in the background a Slovene walking past, or maybe there's a Gelf mentioned somewhere. I don't know. Are there going to be these little just Easter eggy references scattered around? So we don't have a big celebration of the 20th anniversary of the revival. There is no one episode special that celebrates it, but, you know, there might be little things scattered throughout the series, like here. What do you think? Let me know what you would like to see in these episodes that maybe nods to that 20th anniversary special. Do you think the two main rumours, the Autons and the Midnight sequel, do you think they are do you think they're right? Do you think that's what's going to happen? And are you pleased about that? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below, and I will see you for reviews of the new episode after it goes out on Saturday morning. I'll be covering every episode, possibly with the little ones on hand to review it with me, depends what they feel like, and maybe some other videos in between to talk about things in a bit more depth or theorise some more. Hit subscribe down below for all of that. And if you want to see that Dalek theory I mentioned earlier, click on screen now.